Hello. Hello. Yeah. Hello, and welcome to Dr. Dorian's House of Killers, where we take a look at all your favorite killers and see how they could be implemented into Dead by Daylight. Today, we will be starting off with Chucky. So, I had some ideas for Chucky. In case you don't know, and the video won't be up by the time this will be uploaded. Maybe someday I'll manage to upload it. In my opinion, killers should have at least an additional power that they can choose at the beginning before the match starts. So similar to survivors being able to choose between a toolbox, a flashlight, and medkit, key, map. I think killers should at least have one more power that they can choose, one primary power or whatever. And so the way these killers, so the way I am presenting the killers, the way I'm presenting Chucky, for example, I will give base stats, and then I will say one power that I feel would fit with a few alternatives, sometimes more than one, sometimes only one. And yeah, you'll get the gist of it. When it comes to perks, these are just ideas for perks. I don't know if I will do perks for every killer, because perks are going to be a whole big problem in the future with the Dead Daylight, that they will make the game, because of the way to combine them a lot more complex with each new chapter. But with the killers that I'm bringing out at the moment, I have perk ideas. So, Chucky. Speed. I feel that in the Chucky movies, even though he's small, even though he is, well, it doesn't seem like he moves that fast. He always seems to be moving extremely fast. So I think he should still be 115% movement speed killer, 4.6 meters per second. Size, he will be the only tiny killer till now. I think he should be maybe a little bit taller than grass. Maybe he could get a crouch feature or something like that in addition, so he can blend in. But he should be hard to spot in grass, and you shouldn't be able to see him that easy if he ducks next to a wood log or something, unless you go really close up to it. So that's why but he should be fast. Not being able to see is a big problem, but also a big benefit. So I don't think there is a big problem with having him at that speed. And but I also think it's necessary. First power idea would be Voodoo Toys. Okay, let me before I go into the powers, let me elaborate a bit, because this will be important for all the powers, or for killers in general when I present them. Very often you can see who the killer is. If you see a bear trap, you know it's trapper. If you hear a humming, you know it's a huntress. Well, that's not seeing, but hearing. If you see a jigsaw box, you know it is the pig, and so on and so forth. So with Chucky, I feel the map should always spawn with a lot of toys placed everywhere. A lot of Chucky dolls, probably, but depending upon the costume he has. Let me put it that way. So Voodoo Toys is the first power. It's similar to the static mask of the Doctor, so it has a certain range effect. The toys are very slow moving. There are quite a few of them, and the toys move a certain time frame, and they automatically seek out survivors. They walk up to them. If they manage to touch a survivor, they don't have a terror radius, so survivors will have to keep an eye out. But if they manage to touch one, they damage them, or maybe they latch onto them, and it's kind of a aura reading thing for a certain amount of time or something like that. Maybe that could be altered with add-ons, you know. But that would also require artificial intelligence to be input into Dead by Daylight, I suppose, at least. So I don't know how likely that would be a power, but I would find that power pretty amazing. In addition, because one of the next killers that I have would need that even more. Probably, maybe, I don't know, depending upon how you implement the next, doesn't matter. So yeah, so these toys would automatically go, you know, towards them, towards survivors, and either damage or hook onto them or whatever. Alternative power number 1 is mimic double. Take over a toy's body. That means not necessarily like the hag per se. Chucky can take over a different toy's body, while after he takes over the toy's body, the toy still, to other Chucky, the Chucky that he took over or whatever, would still be sitting there, not moving, no terror radius. Maybe the heads all move or something like that. I don't know, but nothing to indicate that the toy is now the actual killer. And for the first 1 or 2 seconds after he starts moving, no terror radius, and then terror radius. Also, I don't know if Chucky really needs a red stain, because he would be more of a stealthy killer, but that's a different story. So the idea is you could more or less take over a toy somewhere and lurk or try to sneak up on people. Alternate power number 3, or alternate power 1, third alternate power 1. Remote controlled toys. In this case, I feel like Chucky can take over a doll for a certain amount of time and run with it, do stuff with it, act as if it's his original body, but only, who knows, a certain amount of seconds or something. And it's similar to the Legion's powers, so if he cancels it early, he doesn't have to wait till the whole power charges back up or something like that. I don't know. Which would be more or less a combination, I guess, of power of the first power suggestion and the alternate power suggestion that came after that. But those would be the three that I would suggest. And the reason why I think that all maps should come with toys is because you can't then say, oh, there are toys here and it's Chucky, so he has this power. No, it's a guessing game. And that's the reason why I want additional powers for the killers, because it would just make it more interesting to find out, oh, what power did that trapper take? What power did that nurse take, for example? Then, in addition, for chases, I feel like Chucky should get a leap attack. Maybe something that is even able to leap over windows or something like that. A straight line, something. I don't know if when he latches onto somebody, if that person gets downed or whatever. Or, you know, you have to struggle him off or something like that, maybe. I don't know. Or if it just does damage. But a leap attack. And the last thing that I feel that Chucky should have, and that's only if he doesn't have the ability to take over a toy's body permanently, it would be travel through lockers and or chests, or alternatively he gets vents, sort of, because Chucky in the movies always pops out from wherever. You don't know where he's coming from. I find lockers and maybe not necessarily, or lockers and chests would be the best idea. If a chest is searched, it's an additional place where he can come out. Maybe he can come out chests anyways, I don't know. But for example, if he goes into a locker, he can go out another locker. That would be kind of nice to have another killer that utilizes lockers except for the Huntress. And if somebody hides in a locker and he comes through that locker, then he would automatically have him. It would be like pulling him out of the locker and being able to hook him instantly. That would be a nice effect. So those are the two additional powers. Although porting to lockers and stuff like that, only if the whole taking over body double doesn't. On that one, I wouldn't probably wouldn't use the traveling ability or remove it. But you know, it would be possible to say, okay, loadout 1 is Voodoo Toys, Leap, and Locker Traveling. Loadout 2 is mimic doubles that you can take over with Leap and no Locker Traveling, and Loadout 3 is a certain amount of time controlling a toy plus Locker Traveling. Now, to the perks. First perk, I'm hoping I'm going to pronounce this somewhat correct. Dambala's Blessing. When you take this perk, you get 1, 2, or 3 extra totems on the map. Doesn't matter, dull totems, of course, but that would be a nice idea. I thought, you know, empower the totems a bit. Next one is Heart of Dambala. Hex totems, or maybe all totems, I guess, get skill checks. Skill check altering abilities for gens apply to these totems. So if there is a skill check, something that makes the skill check smaller, applies. If it makes it bigger, applies. If it whatever, applies. If it's a doctor, skill checks can go the other way around. And the last one, the last perk would be playtime. And this one I actually put a flavor text with it. Life sure is full of surprises. This one would give generators a fake skill check that you must miss. So I don't know how you would indicate it that it's a fake skill check. If you'd have to pay attention to the sound. Maybe there is no warning sound, which would be a nice combination with was it Huntress Lullaby that reduces the warning sound? And the way I would implement it so that it's not as random as with Ruin would be that the total repairing of all survivors that are currently repairing gens is looked at, and at a certain fixed intervals, a fake skill check happens. So if only one person works on a gen and all the other people don't, he could actually predict which one's fake. But if 2 people are doing it, it happens at, let's say, every 30 seconds. But it's at random decided whether one person gets it or another person gets it. Yes, I hope you liked my ideas. If you have any suggestions to improve or alterations to Chucky, do you think he's too powerful or too weak? What would you like to see him have as powers? What would you think would be good perks? Put them down below. I will at one point make a commenter edition for the killers that I suggest. And I will probably then pick up whatever comments you put down. If you have anything you want to suggest or talk to me about, I stream Tuesdays, link in the description, on Twitch. Till next time. Toodles.